Okay. What up? Friday. A little bit late. It's 9:40, about 10 minutes. Had a nosebleed earlier, so took care of that. Anyway, yo, if you like a clean and simple logo, if you're into that minimalistic sort of look, check out the clothing brand in the description. It's called Avanti. It's my brand. I'd love if you check it out. Trying to provide simple clothes with a meaningful message and at an affordable price. So check it out if you're interested. We have sleeve prints, pretty clean, pretty tight, some cool colorways. So yeah, if you like that, check it out. As far as the market goes, I'm sort of indifferent. I mean, I'm looking to get long. I haven't taken too much of a look at the charts this morning. Excuse me. I know that we have consumer sentiment at 10 o'clock. So I guess we could wait for that. For now, like, I just have the usual stuff marked out. Midnight open. We have our new day opening gap up here. That was from yesterday. Let's actually check out the one from today. I'm pretty sure there was one actually. It's here. Close there, open there. Oops, sorry. ES not as large of a new day opening gap. Okay. Right around midnight opening price. So new day opening gap and the midnight open kind of in the same realm. I always yawn when I get on stream. I wonder if it's my nerves. It could be a nerves thing. Everybody makes me all nervous. I'm just getting my trading view charts on my laptop set up over here as well. I'm going to do a quick scan for any SMT or anything meaningful there. Okay, so nothing really on the lows. If I look at YM, also nothing. If anything, it just made equals, which is bleh. Um, so yeah, we'll just hang out. Nothing to do yet. I also didn't check my audio, but I'm gonna assume it's fine. It always is. I guess I can go check it. Always is. Yep, we good. We good. We good. Hmm. Yeah, nothing peak interesting yet. I'm sure YM will probably take these lows out over here. I'm gonna move that down because I don't really care too much about it. ES, nice little high target up here, like that. Yeah, structure-wise, it seems like we want to go higher. Just built like based off of how our highs are built in and how they look. So yeah, I'm looking to get long at some point. I don't know if I'll wait until 10 o'clock or not right now. I mean, is there anything too convincing? 5-minute chart's a little messy. Just kind of nasty wick action. Although you could argue now actually that this inversion is like super balanced considering all the passes through and even how this 5-minute candle came down below open rejected came back above both midnight and the new day opening gap, and now we're kind of making a nice, run for highs. So yeah, let's see. No SMT though, like nothing, nothing super obvious. Why am I yawning? I yawn so much. I wonder if it's like when I'm talking. That's so weird. Shuffle some poker chips or something. Keep myself busy. You know, it would be a lot more interesting if there were some like people to talk to or like asking questions or something. But maybe we'll get there at some point. And if not, that's okay too. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out a surface that I could shuffle these chips on. Huh. Okay, so we're getting stuffed over here to this 5-minute gap. We did invert it. Move down. That's going up. Still not much of a. Oh. What is this? A 3-minute chart? It's actually a little bit cleaner. A little change in state here after taking the low. But what I don't love about that 3-minute chart is these lows. A little sus to me. So probably would have been tough to take that one. But all the balance is comforting. You know, it's that same area where their 5-minute invert was. Tweezer top high on the 5 minutes, total BS. That'll get taken. So that'll be our intermediate target, even though we're looking for something a lot like higher up here. But we will aim for this high. I've made up my mind. I just wonder if we're going to get any sort of discount entry or if this is just going to roll higher the whole time. The way it's working on that 1-minute fair value gap seems as though we may not get a discount entry. Like I'm looking at the new day opening gap here as a possible area for a discount. Let's measure this swing actually. I hate that. Why do I always get that wrong? Why can't I figure that out? So there's our OT and discounted the 1-minute leg that I may try to get long off. So far, no SMT on the highs, so I'm okay with that. Yeah, this might be a good one. Whoa. I may even wait for it to touch back into midnight. Topstep doing weird stuff again. The no SMT makes me a little nervous. That I'm slightly hesitant. But maybe we'll get it on the news. Maybe this will just chop around for the next 8 minutes. And I'll get it on the news or something. So no discount there. Makes me slightly uneasy about. Might actually chase a short into the disc. Excuse me, into the discount. Just nothing. Boring, boring, boring. Nothing to do yet. Let's look at the weekly chart. Actually, yeah, all right, fine. Actually, yeah. Okay, we can do that. Yeah, I'm just gonna look at it on my laptop. So weekly candle's pretty strong. Um, maybe we're running out of juice. Like, I don't know. 15-minute chart making a push. My hands are so cold. Oh my God. Okay, so NQ getting stuck with the rejection block. 5 minutes left. We may actually come back right into discount, have news propel us a little bit lower, and then us drive higher. I like how we're building in these low resistance highs. Whole lot of trend line liquidity on all the indexes. That's appealing to me for a long setup. I like when the market makes these nice smooth lines because it gives me a little more confidence to attack them as targets. Although look how all three of these, nobody's taking the low. I don't know. We'll wait. We'll just be really patient with it. If I miss the upside, I miss the upside. So I'm getting a top text. So I'm still, so a lot of people will move their fib to now this new high. I actually like to keep it where the impulse range was. And realistically, it's this one right here, but it doesn't make too much difference. I bet it's like an easy money short. So down here, into here for the news. News sends us higher. That's what I'm looking for. Get this down move. There's the easy money short. But I'm choosing to sit on my hands because I just, you know, if it rips away, I feel like a dumbass. So we'll just sit here and shuffle our chips, keep our heads busy. I wonder if that's loud on the stream. It's busy. It's not that bad. There you go, there's the short again after retracing up into the inverted gap. But we're not going to take these shorts. We're just going to wait. For once in my life, I am more interested in the long side for a trade. So far, we're calling it good. Happy with that, at least. Not making anything, but seeing it, so that feels good. We're definitely seeing it. News in 40 seconds. Then we'll cue the platform issues. Okay, there goes the news. Let's give it a second here. See if it's going to go lower. Yes, moving into discount of its range as well, those lower fair value gaps in the bottom left. And Q seeming to hold this 1 minute fair value gap. I'm semi-skeptical about it. Something's frightening. Spidey senses are tingling. I may want to see it more into the new day opening gap. Well, ES is actually there, so I don't need NQ to go there. Okay, Topstep data is finally catching up. That's a nice move. I'm gonna mark out 10 o'clock here. The only thing I'm weary about are these lows. The fact that everyone pretty much made equals is like skeeving me out a little bit. That might keep me out of a long trade right now. If I could just get the damn thing to... Yeah, just a little nasty. It may have gone, yeah, it went below by like a point or two on YM. So maybe I'm okay. Let me look at the 15-minute. I mean, it's so close to being equal. It's 50-50. We'll see how price reacts. Midnight OTA zone. Midpoint of the new day opening gap. No, I'm not gonna touch it yet. I would have liked to see some of the other 10 things hold us up, and they're not at the moment. So I'll sit on my hands for now. What I was watching is this gap right here. It's actually SMT between ES and NQ for that gap. Considering NQ entered into the fair value gap, you can see ES did not. So let's just be patient though. I like this little invert here, but I'm just going to be patient because ES is slightly behind NQ. So it has to, it's like NQ, so you basically argue that NQ is using midnight, right, as support, but ES looks like it's getting shoved by it, so I want to wait until they're a little more insane. Now they're diverging on that 15 minutes, 15 seconds swing. Back into this 1 minute. I don't even know what the news was. I mean, I don't know if it was good, bad, indifferent. I don't know, PPI came in really low, so good for inflation, I think. Low PPI number, producer price index. Okay, short end bonds, yields up about 1%, 5 years up about 2% and climbing. Long end 10, 20, 30, 10's up 2.25. So that's interesting. Let me get rid of that because we're rejecting 50% of that swing. Let's zoom out a second here. Back down to midnight. This little volume imbalance is going to be an issue. Like if you try to get long here, I feel like it'll want to come down and tag this. And if it comes down and tags that, what's it stopping from these little tweezer bottoms? Or not. Okay, yeah, it's a good move. See if it holds it. Plenty of room to the target on the upside. I don't need to get in just yet. Okay. Let's check it out. That's a nice one. A lot of candle lag, like not printing the data right away, which is a little annoying. Topstep. This whole range is a breaker. Low, high, lower, low. Into the fair value gap. Could be a 3-minute inversion there. Let's look at the 5. Right below the 10 a.m. open would be cool too. Relatively discounted. Right at 10 a.m. is the midpoint of this 15-second swing leg. Let me try to get long one in there. Not quite giving me the invert. Neither is ES. I think this is false, this candle here. If I look on the 3-minute trading view, yeah, there is a slight smaller downwick. Did it enter it? Okay, so on NQ, actually, we did enter into that 3-minute inversion. I'm gonna try, oh, come on. All right. Just try one into this invert here. And again, we're aiming all the way up here. I'm only in one because I'm going to give this one a little bit of room to breathe. For now, obviously I'll add in if it gives me some sort of better entry. Hate to see that. Wow. Let's try one more. That's heavy. I'm in a bad spot. entry wise. Very bad. Wow. All right. We just got steamrolled. That's disgusting. So I was getting long off of this potential invert here if it was just going to run away. So what's dumb is NQ showed that we had entered, like the TradingView NQ contract showed that we entered into this inversion here. So that's why I started taking the long up here. Interesting, interesting, interesting. There goes that little gap. That kept me out here. Usually not wrong about that stuff. So I should probably just listen to myself. That was one hell of a down move. Well, it's uphill battle from here. Oh, my neck is so chalk. What can I just say? Shrugs. That's really gonna give us a hard time. I don't know if I trust all this monkey business. Definitely feel like I want to see some SMT before I start getting long. Five-minute invert still holding up. Let's move this over. I mean, we fell right into a 15-minute fair value gap. It's just, we have this volume imbalance down here. Just seems really suspect, the action. Are we just going to relentlessly long today? After getting absolutely hosed? Try to play the range, or do we long? This is so low resistance. Bull. Try a couple there. Yeah, it might be. We might wedge. Could be in a rough spot. Back in that 3-minute. Not showing me proper wicks. That's fine. Another 200 bucks. Jesus. Yeah, it's the death spiral. We're in a wedge, and I'm just buying high and selling the low. Shocked to death. Doesn't help that this data is not working correctly either. It's a little annoying. Might be a lesson from yesterday not to move long until somebody takes out this low. All right. Take opening gap. Do we have any SMT here? No. That's kind of just ugly. But you keep trying to buy midnight? Like, look for that gap down there. Uh-oh. Is the wick? What? That's the deal. Did we go lower or not? I hate this fucking data. Excuse me. I need to look at a 1 minute chart on my other chin here. Okay. We're getting reshort. Gonna ignore this SMT for now based on the NQ weakness. I'm just adding into it, hoping that we're gonna fall out of bed, start taking in some 1 minute lows and stuff. Okay, ES just disqualified the SMT. I'll put my stop at even there. I'll lock in $100 there and profit to, you know, minimize some of the blood. I like these equals on the 15-second. I think that's obviously where we're headed. Nice. So that's an interesting move. It's basically what I talked about yesterday. I should have taken a dose of my own medicine. Basically, there was This goes to show you always wait for the SMT. Yeah, well, I guess I missed that too. But basically what I was saying is like these lows from London, and you can see now like nobody really took them. YM sorta did, but I guess not enough. So you can see no index dropped below that 4 o'clock low. So for that reason, I then kind of just committed to it. And if you look on the small time frames, we had these little bunch. Yeah, I mean, this is still like this is very enticing for the long side. It's so early. I mean, it's only 10 o'clock. You know, it's like 10:30. I wouldn't be surprised if we continue higher. But there was just nothing. Bullish arrays just weren't getting respected. And I tried, you know, look, I tried to long it. I tried because sometimes, look, sometimes these things they don't work. It's constantly a battle of trusting your draw over technical sometimes. Because these things they'll fail or they'll paint outside the lines or they won't look as pretty, but you kind of have to just believe in where you think the market is going and you give yourself some wiggle room to operate outside of that level or you know that level of accuracy. But at a certain point, you do also need to just kind of recognize like it's just not working. And at some point too, the concepts themselves, like the patterns, whatever you want to call them, the signatures, will work if you're on side. If you're right, it'll work. And so I basically accepted that I was wrong in here. I didn't, you know, this was on the 1 minute or 30-second. These types of lows I don't love to see. Like, you know, it's the same thing that why I was targeting up here. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I kind of just accepted. I was like, oh, you're wrong right now for timing. Like it's gonna go lower. So then, you know, you switch and you start to look for your signatures, and that's what we saw here. Um, Obviously spooked by the little bit of SMT around midnight between ES and NQ, but after NQ was just really respecting the midpoint of this gap, and you know, I look to my left and I see these types of signatures in the structure. I don't really have a choice but to try the short there. And then it was actually a pretty easy hold because it just started to collapse. So now that we've taken those lows, maybe we'll dabble in a long or something. Because I still do believe in the upside. See, that's annoying. Topstep needs to fix this. Hold on, I need to take a video of this because I gotta send it to them. I've been such a pain in the ass towards them. Well, actually, I don't know why I'm taking a video on my phone. I'm streaming. See the discrepancy here, Topstep? Your 15-minute candle says we're trading near the low, or that we were pushing down below this low. But the 1 minutes are clearly well off of that low. We're trading 77s with a low at 275. Like what? Wait a minute. Go back here. 283. 283. Okay, now finally it played catch up. There's data issues. Something is wrong with the data. And it's making the decisions very difficult. Complain, complain, complain. Sorry. You know. I don't know. It's just been like all week. I don't know what the problem is. Not going to take that long there because look at what YM is doing. Not playing that damn game. It's probably just a long for a retracement purpose. So a lot of people may not see that even as a long, that little 1 minute fair value gap on NQ, but when your narrative is strong enough, that's really all you need. Like if it makes enough sense, it's typically the, that's trading the smart, that's trading the reversal. The low risk buy, as they say. I like to call it the super low risk buy because then the real low risk buy usually comes in like 5 or 6 minutes later. So it actually, well, there you go, it's the smart money reversal. Then the low risk buy comes about 5 or 7 minutes later, maybe 10, a couple of 5-minute candles or something. Build a little bit more 1 minute structure. Actually, really should have just faded the long for another short scalp, but whatever. I wonder if NQ wants to run into this 15-minute gap down here. Play a little catch up with ES. You can see ES ended up taking that earlier down here in Asian session. In the Asia session. And then we had the London. London ran us on up, reversed. New York, continuation, London reversal. I guess. I mean, who the fuck saw that coming? Probably AM. AM probably saw that one coming. It's probably some shit with his daily profile. I may get saucy with this short into that gap. Maybe if it moves up a little higher. It seems like a little bit of a unnecessary risk from that level. But also, there's a chance that it just leaves it alone because ES already entered it. But that seems like it's attacking it. Patience, patience, patience. Proceeds to enter the short, yeah. It may frustratingly just leave it alone though, so. Yeah, who knows? Do I? Decided not to get involved there. Just didn't like the spot that we were in. A little too close, and I can see it between what it's doing now. Also, you did have YM stab one more time. There's the laundry.
Might be a breakaway gap on that 15-minute chart. IQ just may never touch it. I could just be messing along. We're going to pay attention to how we act in here. I don't know. Pretty convincing to me. Although in the 30-minute, we just had a strong change in state of delivery with that last candle close. They really sold this. It looked like it was going to go lower. That's why I didn't buy it. I was like, damn, that's a strong one, like right all the way into the bottom of it. Like, I ain't touching that. But I always say the scariest buys are the best buys. The ones that are the hardest to hold are the best ones. That's why I love trading the short side. You pretty much know if you're in the goods right away. All right, well, the good news is that if it's going to go up and take out that London high, we have plenty of room to figure out that and to get involved for like 30 points, 30 or 40, you know what I mean? Whatever we usually scalp for. And at the same time, there's also plenty of room to possibly take a short, depending how we're acting around here. Okay. Could be up and away from here. I'm not measuring the 50% just yet because I don't want to give myself any ideas quite yet. All right, I'm going to go do another load of laundry. I'll be back. If anything interesting happens, let me know. missed nothing but chop. Splendid. Back into midnight open. Weaseled around there. Nothing. Nothing yet. On a no strip for good luck, right? I think that's straight. Is that on my nose straight, or do I look like a doof? It's a little crooked. Hey yo, that's a push. Let's yeah, maybe London high, right? I'm feeling the London high. It's enticing. All this low resistance fun stuff. Should have just ripped one there. That's that 3-minute invert. Now the question is, do we believe that the 4-hour candle is going to be bullish and to the upside? If we do, we want to be buying below this open. If we don't, we may see manipulation above the open and then have us come back down. Ooh. If it gives me half of the leg, I'll probably dabble. That's like right around the EQ of the new day opening gap, which I kind of like. I just want to mark out the 10 o'clock open on ES as well. Could be seeing some offset accumulation, which is when we make a couple jagged highs, come down, take out some lows, continue higher. Offset longs, accumulate new ones. Or really it's offset shorts, but doesn't want to give me the discount entry. I want the midpoint, at least. Midpoint or lower. Good for one there. I'm wrong. Shit. Who would have knew? Hmm. Almost makes me a little skeptical about this 4-hour candle. Makes me think maybe, just maybe, we're going back down into that 15-minute gap. I mean, just why be sloppy with it like that? Bullish arrays are just not holding up for me. Like, we're just getting stuck in every possible place. Bullish flow wise. Trying a short there after we lost midnight. I want to see how we react around the midpoint of the 5-minute swing range that we're messing with. And again, at this point, I'm thinking we could be the 4-hour candle may want to close bearish. I mean, pretty much rejecting off the 10 a.m. open for ES and NQ. Definitely gonna watch it around here. And if it's gonna go lower, I prefer it just crack right through this level. I need to measure this out on the on TradingView because I'm getting differing results here. gonna mute the stream real quick. Okay, we're back. Thinking we're probably gonna move up into here. The move off of that midpoint though is suspect. After this next push, I'm gonna move my stop to even. I just think it should probably start to really filter lower. And if it's not going to lose this midpoint level, then I think maybe it'll move up higher. And like, yeah, it's a 1 minute chart, so it doesn't seem like it would be a lot of move, but I mean, from entry, so that's 61. Yeah, so another 25 points at the minimum. The maximum is, 36 above the candle 55. Like, so I guess we just got tagged out there. Yeah, still holding that midpoint of the range. Yeah. Playing defense. Because it's a tough market here. Directionally tough. Also would have much rather preferred that gap to stay open. And the fact that we were hanging out below it, building a lot of volume, sweeping a low into the midpoint of the range, and then going into it, not as sexy anymore. Feels like a trap. Like, I understand all the bodies are holding midnight and everything to go lower, but tells a slightly different story. Not by much, but something nonetheless. I'm not interested in anything right now. That's not a terrible move on the low time frames. I kind of like that. But see it puke from there. Wow, something happened. Here's our upside. Is there news at 11? Tariff announcement. What happened? What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? FOMC member Williams is speaking. I have my Twitter notifications turned off. I should look, because that's probably going to tell me what's going on here. Oh, excuse me. Okay. Let's see what we got here. The economy is best by very high levels, or is beset by very high levels of uncertainty, says Williams. Tariffs will boost inflation between 3.5% to 4% this year. The effect, this is Fed's Musalim. The effect of tariffs on prices could also have an effect on wages. It could take quarters, years for uncertainty on tariff announcements is also a headwind. No shit. Generative AI will be a powerful boost to the productivity. Yeah. If inflation expectations become unanchored, we have to prioritize fighting inflation. So let's see how the bonds. I feel the long end knew. The long end had a feeling. Everybody, long end and the short end. You know, I mean, we're up 3% on the 10-year, 3% on the 5-year, almost 2% on the 30-year, 20-year, over 2.25%, and they were buying it since the morning, or they were, you know, they were selling off the bonds early. They want better rates, which is, am I misunderstanding PPI? Oh, I gotta text somebody about that then. Call in the handy dandy Kush. Okay, I'm thinking about getting involved in the short side here. My first immediate target will be this gap here. Second target will be down here into the 15-minute. I'll take a majority off here because if the 15 minutes a true breakaway, it'll use this gap to propel us higher. I have news coming in about PPI. Question. Let's see what's going on. Great numbers. That's what I thought. Yields up. Question mark. All right, let's get a nice poke above there. See if we can get short into that 1 minute gap. Oh, come on, give it to me. You gotta be kidding me. That's just gonna puke. They don't want to eat any of the drawdown. And then having to add too heavy up in the higher up gap. Just didn't give it to me. Trying to figure out why the yields are rallying. I'm texting my guy about that right now. Because PPI numbers were great, CPI numbers were great. 90-day tariff pause. I mean, there's really no reason for this downward action. Or this, I don't understand the rise in yields. I don't know why they're demanding. Maybe the bond market just isn't buying it. Like they don't believe that the numbers are as good as they are. So they're making sure that they're basically pricing the Fed. They might be signaling to the bond market, may be signaling to the Fed that they don't want the Fed to cut rates. That's what it seems like it could be. Sorry for the constant noise. I just need something to fidget with, keep me busy while I wait for these trades. So shuffling poker chips is my new thing. I used to shuffle a deck of cards. That was cool, but you need 2 hands to do that. Sometimes I like to have one ready on the hotkeys. If this gives me something enticing, I'll take the short into that little 1 minute gap. That might do it for me. I feel like that's overextended. I'm taking it there. It's completely blown through pretty much everything else. But again, I feel like that was a value short. Yeah. I think it's like a mohawk. I think it's just coloring outside the lines. Double breakaway is a possibility between the 15 and that 1 minute gap, but I don't think anybody was in there. Was anybody? Was YM? YM hasn't even gone in there either. I'm going to hold it steady here. I feel like I'm in a good spot as far as entry goes. I'm going to add another one into that. See if we can get some movement lower here. Give me this gap. Hate to see that turn around there. I really do. That move's making me nervous. Needs to hold the 50% there. It's a very uneasy short to hold. Making me feel very uneasy. That's all good. It's just maybe it's a fake reaction out of this gap, trying to lure longs in. I'm just gonna try to hold it here. I mean, it's like a difficult hold, but I'm gonna try to hold it. I might trim one actually. I do have one on. Let's see. Let's just try to hold through the scary waters, right? Why not? What's the worst that could happen? All right, come on. Come on, come on, come on. I try to get one off for $100. All right, we're pretty much at our goal for the day anyway. We move into the gap. We did really well. Nice. I'm good there. Cool. We'll take it. That's gonna be it for me today. Uh, I got nothing else. And we can watch it move into the gap now. But I've been burned so many times just trying to hold out for another 5 points or whatever, a couple bucks. Look, our limit wouldn't have even gotten hit. I would be sick. Gross. Could you imagine? That's the type of shit I'm talking about. You know, you spend enough time in the market, like watching every day and trying to abide by strict limit orders for your take profits, and you get smashed. Or you know what I think it comes down to, and I think it's a really smart question to ask yourself: is the extra $20 or $30, okay, going to change your life? Even if you're trading with size, okay, say you have, and because that's really all it is per contract. Is that money going to change your life? And if it's not, maybe it's a smart idea to close the trade. Okay? Like, what do you have to be right for? You know, was this move from here to here going to change my life at all? I could be trading 50 contracts. Pound for pound, it's not. So what are you doing? Get the hell out of the trade. Take your money. You were right enough. And I'm talking to myself too, because I still do it. I still, like, you know, we love to be right. We love to be all the way right. It's not enough sometimes that you make the money. Okay? Sometimes it's you feel like you have to make the money and be the wizard that knows exactly where, you know, the market's going every single time. To the tick, whatever. Like, don't be dumb. This game's hard. It's so hard. It's so hard. So when you're right, just be right. Lock it in. End rant. Just quickly go over this. Okay, so tough action. Whatever. We move into 10 a.m. We reject hard. Once we start puking this candle, I'm pretty much sold that this was it. I said that I want to get involved. Could have tried to sell it here. Didn't want to chase it because this was very gross structure. Flat top candles, unmitigated highs with gaps above. We puked down again. Could I have traced it again? Yes, and I used to. That's why I didn't, because I've gotten burned enough trying to chase these moves, and you know, for what? For 13, 20 points when the real move is from here to here. So we hold, and honestly, when you have all this structure and then it moves back up into it, you have an even better setup than you had up here. You know, because now you're taking out stops just to go lower. Okay. And again, the target was here for intermediate, and then obviously, like, Pipe Dream is saying, oh, we're gonna hold, you know, for the 15-minute breakaway gap, like first target here, second target here. Well, guess what? If I had 10 contracts on, or 8 contracts, sure, I would have taken off a whole bunch here, and you know, would have had to stop at break even over here, and then let a couple ride to feed the ego. Okay, but that's not the case. You know, we drew down heavy this morning. Okay, way heavier than I wanted to. And that's an uncomfortable spot all the time. Anyway, we start really ripping above this fair value gap, really high, deep into here. And at this point, how I view it is, it doesn't change my mind on this. And if I was short here, I would give it plenty of room. So when I say it's a value area, it just means like, wow, like we're really painting outside the line of where I expect price to slow down, and I'm getting a really good entry. I'm getting like a pretty cheap entry, given like this doesn't change my narrative at all. So that's why I got short into that. Okay, now if we look at the 30-second, when we started to melt down here, and we had that little retest of the middle on the 30-second, because this is a 30-second gap that's drawn out. Okay, that's what I was looking at the time. It wasn't a 15-second chart. I was looking at a 30-second chart. When we came back tap and we started puke, that's when I added another. I'm expecting this high to hold. I'm not even really expecting us to come back up. I'm thinking boop boop, you know, run it back down, boop boop. That's gonna be my new thing. I'll put boop boop on a t-shirt. That's how I'm gonna explain the charts all the time now. So whatever, boop boop. We're gonna go right down. We don't, because this market sucks and it's been really difficult to trade. Thankfully, we had the clarity of the midpoint of the impulse range down, this original impulse range down from 10 o'clock, okay? Because that is kind of what gave me the confidence to continue to hold, even though, so what I said is like, I hate this, I hate what's happening here, is because we reclaimed, okay, and this is where I added, so that's also why I hated it. I was like, because I just moved my average down from around here all the way down into here, so I'm going to take some drawdown. We reclaim the bearish fair value gap, re-invert, then the next 30-second candle before coming up and tapping into here touches into the midpoint, right? I hate that. That to me is a low time frame signature that, yo, you might be done for. Like it might tap in here on the 30-second, tap, reclaim, re-invert, reclaim the invert, and then take off to the upside because it's just one of those days. Now, I didn't believe that because one, we had the extra confluence of the range, okay, the midpoint of the range holding us down. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, that's my last line of defense. I also don't believe it because we have a 15-minute breakaway, and then we had a 1-minute breakaway. I didn't think that NQ is going to keep both of these open. On top of that assumption, neither one of the indexes traveled below this low. It's the same thing from yesterday. So I use that information of like, well, you know, is there any sort of divergence that would make it feel like, you know, we can just leave shy of here? Like, is there a reason why we could leave this gap open besides just narrow? Like, you know, is there any divergence? There wasn't. So that's why I'm holding, okay? Finally, we get the puke down, and it was pretty much easy holds from there. And then it was just position management, trade management, you know, getting out at 100 points or 50 points and then, you know, locking it up around here before getting, you know, whipsawed, and obviously would have been taken out the break even. Would have felt like an idiot. So take a couple more bucks. So let's just, there you go. Okay. So first entry, 43450. It's right above the midpoint. So it's a great entry. We took about 10 points of total heat from there. Okay. 74 is where we got out. 74, 75. This was about 59 and 3/4 points because we're at 74.50 on the first entry. Okay, that's perfect. 409.25 was our add, and you can see it's pretty much right as these candles. I pulled the trigger, and the last at 359. So where are we? I must have got slipped a little bit because I'm using markets here. Another 50 points, pretty much. Okay, 59.75. So I'm happy with that. These are great trades in my book. I don't see a reason why you need any more, and it's Friday. I'd rather go into my weekend feeling like a stud than like an absolute dunce. So I'm done. I hope you all have a great weekend. I hope anybody watching this, you know, helps to, you know, see my analysis. It would mean a lot if, like, I see that like there are a couple people viewing. Obviously, I doubt anybody's listening right now, but if you are listening, it would mean a lot if you dropped like a like or something. Somebody did on a couple other videos. It would mean a lot if you dropped a like or left a comment that it was helpful. I'll still keep doing it anyway, but it'd be cool to see if anybody's benefiting. Anyway, that's it. Enjoy your weekend. We're going to finish up here. See you later.